Hey guys, what's up? It's Trent here doing a very belated video, one that I must apologise for, please forgive me. But if you follow my channel, you'll know that I was busy house hunting and I finally got my own house. I'm living here alone. It's 2 stories and it's really quiet and awkward and strange. And I'm still adapting. I might sound like I'm coming across depressed, but I'm just adapting to my bearings right now, and that's the reason why it's taken so long for me to do a video. There's my excuse. I hope you can forgive me. But the reason for this video today was that I was initially going to outline my video game collection in a trio of videos, and before I do that, what I thought I'd do is a top list, which I haven't done before, to show you guys what I would consider to be some of the best games you'll play this generation. And granted, I haven't played every single game out there. I'm pretty sure that a lot of games I want to play now and end up playing would be included in this list, and I'd end up kicking myself. But for now, these are the games that I would consider to be some of the finest gaming experiences you'll have. And of course, not everyone is going to agree with me, but this is what I consider to be some of the best. So here it is, my top 8 games of this generation, in my own humble opinion. Heavy Rain, and this game should come as no surprise. I have mentioned this game numerous times, more so than I'd like to give myself credit for, which is quite silly, but the reason why I'm pulling out Heavy Rain is because I am deeply passionate about this game. This has a very special place in my heart, and if it wasn't for Heavy Rain, I quite simply would not have a YouTube channel. It's as simple as that. This game really did usher me into the world of YouTube and really got me, it really did spark my passion for discussing video games, and if it wasn't for Heavy Rain, I wouldn't be here, and that's why it's on the list. The very first Bioshock, and the reason why I'm pulling up Bioshock 1 instead of 2 or Infinite, even though I love those titles, was that I was a completely newcomer to the series. I only finished all 3 games this year, and it really did open my eyes that it could take a well-worn genre, the first-person shooter genre, which practically everyone loves but me. I don't really have much passion for that genre at all, but it really twisted, molded and shaped it and made it its own thing. It made it original, it made it highly memorable, and that's why it's included in this list. It was so completely original, the plot line was so deep and involving, the music was perfect. Everything about the first Bioshock 1 was perfect, and it packed in some genuinely good scares which caught me by surprise. That's why Bioshock 1's on my list. The Last of Us, and this should come as no surprise either. And in retrospect, looking back at it, a lot of people seem to think that this title was vastly overrated, and this is where I beg to differ. Not only do I believe that this is one of the greatest games that you'll play this generation, it will also be here to stand the test of time. This game really is perfection, to me anyway. And no game really is perfect, but I truly do honestly think that The Last of Us is as close to perfection as you'll get, because it delivered such a perfect story. Joel and Ellie, their relationship and the development and thought that went into these characters is unprecedented. Something that I haven't seen since Silent Hill 2, back in the heyday. That's why it's on this list. It's gaming perfection in my eyes. Alan Wake, and the reason why I'm picking out Alan Wake is because not only did it make references to some of my favourite fictional work of all time, I'm talking about The Shining, Twin Peaks and The Twilight Zone. The reason why I'm pulling it out is because this psychological action thriller game proved the point to me that these games don't need to rely on blood or gore to deliver those scares, and this game delivers thrills after thrills after thrills, but I wouldn't consider it scary, and that's the beauty of this game. It's not scary at all, but it shreds those nerves. It's very much a primal instinct here, a very primal fear, and that's why Alan Wake is on this list. Deus Ex Human Revolution, and the reason why I'm picking this out is going to be very similar to why I picked Bioshock 1, is that it took a genre which I have not a lot of interest in. This game really held my interest, not to mention introduced us to a cracking video game character, Adam Jensen, one of the most badass characters of this generation, I believe. But it also showed me a visual style which I have not seen before. The environments within this game are, I shit you not, some of the best I've ever seen in a video game, and is definitely worthy of praise, and I will definitely be looking back at this in awe in time to come. That's why it's on the list. DMC Devil May Cry, and this might come as a bit of a surprise, and that's exactly why I'm picking it up. This game was the biggest surprise for me of 2013. Whether or not you loved the new Dante or hated him, at the end of the day, guys, he just had a different haircut. I mean, get over yourselves. It was just a different haircut. Still the same Dante. The gameplay was absolutely fantastic. It is by far one of the best hack and slash games, gameplay-wise, since Bayonetta. And that's why I've pulled it out. And not only is it a great game, gameplay-wise, but also gave us a very good story, and it fits into the DMC universe, which is something I feel, or something I know, which will be very difficult to pull off, but they did pull it off. Dead Space 2, and the reason why I'm pulling out Dead Space 2 is because it breathed life into the survival horror genre, which was getting stale, I must admit, and Silent Hill and Resident Evil have kind of lost their way amongst the sea of third-person action adventure games out there, but Dead Space really harkens back on the primal fear of being alone and being in the dark, most particularly the first Dead Space. But the reason why I pulled out the second Dead Space is because it was a great sequel. Everything about the first Dead Space, which I didn't like, was tweaked and improved in Dead Space 2. That's why it's on the list. It breathed life into survival horror single-handedly for me. Another surprise, we have Catherine. And I'm picking out Catherine because I believe this is one of the most original concepts to have come out this generation. It took a very strange concept. They ran with this idea of mashing together a reality TV show with a dash of survival horror mixed with puzzle, which in theory doesn't sound like it should belong together, but it works. And not only did it work, but it delivered a fantastic story. And if you play games for story, I would highly suggest you to play Catherine. It is a fantastic game. Albeit the gameplay was, it almost done the game a disservice for me, but put that aside, put the insanely high difficulty aside, you have a gem of a game. Catherine, you are a gem. And the final game on my top 8 is Beyond Two Souls. And the reason why I'm picking up this game is not because I picked Heavy Rain and they are from the same family. The reason why I picked Beyond is that I truly believe that David Cage fulfilled his promise, which was he said that gaming, story-driven games these days lack emotion, and I definitely agree. And while this game definitely is for an acquired taste, this story resonated with me. Jodie, our main character, resonated with me, and if you want to know how bad so, I will link my review for Beyond Two Souls in the description below, so you can check that out if you want. But the reason why I will remember this game for a long time is because of Jodie, and because of the story. It resonated with me. There's really not a lot of sugarcoating with this one. It was a fantastic game, and David Cage delivered on his promise, at least I think so anyway. So that was my top 8 video games of this generation, in my own humble opinion, of course. Of course, some people are not going to agree with me. Some honorable mentions, which I did have, were Resident Evil Revelations, Skyrim, Red Dead Redemption, Ni no Kuni, just to name a few. Those were my honorable mentions. But for now, these are what I would consider to be some of the greatest games you'll play this generation. And if you agree with me, or even disagree, that's okay. Let me know how you feel in the comment section below. I'd like to hear from you. I'm working on my trio of videos. As promised, I said I'd outline my video game collection, and that's what I intend to do. So stay tuned for those videos. and I shall see you next time. Peace.